Very good. I am almost at home, and I'll join in for the mobile stations. I'll stay on this frequency and go from there.
Again, Andrew, thank you so much for all your help, man. You really did a great thing. Thank you very much, and this should be fun.
Very welcome. I hope it helps you, and enjoy the radio.
Well, now I can, because, like I said, I can talk to Sarasota and Bradenton. And, hey, if I really get stuck and my trainer down there tries to play games with me, I can always put this on I can put the cell phone on the right side of my hip and the radio on the left side of my hip and say, hey, break, help.
Yep. Helpful in all kinds of ways, that's for sure. All right, I'm going to step aside for the net, and more than welcome. And if you have any questions or comments or need help, just let me know, and we'll go from there. This is KK4SHO Mobile in preparation for the net.
And 3MJC in preparation for the net.
Defect detector, milepost 0.39. Track 2, no defects. Total axles 196 out.
Good evening, this is Whiskey 4, Bravo, Kilo Romeo, handling the Metro Richmond ARES net for Thursday, January 30th, 2025. My name is Sean, and I will be your net controller this evening. Once again, my call sign is W4BKR, not to be confused with W4PKR. If at any point during this net you need to relay emergency traffic, please use the word break. I'll hold the air for your traffic and will assist in any way that we can. Metro Richmond ARES is a part of the Amateur Radio Relay League and the Virginia Section Amateur Radio Emergency Service Program. This net meets weekly on Thursdays at 1900 on the KG4 MRA 145.430 repeater. This net's focus is training and announcements for the amateur radio community with a spotlight on emergency communications. All participants are asked to follow standard net procedures that would be utilized during an active emergency net. There is no need to be an ARES member to participate. All properly licensed operators who are within the range of this repeater, regardless of location or affiliation, are invited and encouraged to participate in this net. This is W4BKR handling the Metro Richmond ARES net. This net is directed, which means all stations must be acknowledged by net control prior to proceeding with comments or discussion. Part of this net is a discussion of the day, which is intended to be a way to learn more about amateur radio, emergency preparedness, and general safety. Tonight's topic is, what is an activity that you regularly do to practice emergency communications in normal ham radio. I'll now proceed to check-ins. Check-ins will be called in two groups. I'll begin by calling mobile and portable stations, followed by all other stations. When you check into the net, please advise of your call sign phonetically, followed by your name. I'll ask for your location and signal reports when you're called for comments. If you're an ARES, Skywarn, or other emergency communications official, please identify when you check in. When checking in, I strongly encourage you to use the "this is" method, where you key up, say "this is," and unkey, allowing the repeater to drop. After hearing the squawk tail, you may key up again and say your call sign, name, and location. This allows you to hear if someone else is transmitting simultaneously. This method reduces the likelihood of doubling with other stations. I will now accept check-ins for mobile and portable stations. If you are mobile or portable, call now, beginning with your call sign phonetically, followed by your name.
Delta 6, Foxtrot, Mike, Ron, Romeo, Oscar, November. This is Kilo 4, Sierra Hotel Oscar, Mobile, KK4 SHO. No traffic, loud and clear.
This is W4 BKR handling the Metro Areas radio net. No other mobile check-ins. We will now check in all remaining stations. If you wish to check in the net, please call now. I need your call sign phonetically, followed by your first name.
This is November 3, Mike, Juliet, Charlie. The name is Mike. Good evening and control. This is Whiskey 4 Papa Kilo Romeo. This is Kilo Oscar 4 Uniform Oscar Romeo. Scott. This is Kilo 4 Oscar Whiskey.
We're contacting the resident accidental activation of her alarm. So go ahead and cancel EMS.
This is Kilo Oscar 4 Kilo Alpha Delta. Name is Randy.
Alright, no other station, sir. This is W4 BKR. Net control recognizes Kilo Delta 6, Foxtrot, Mike, Ron. Kilo 4, Sierra Hotel Oscar. November 3, Mike, Juliet, Charlie, Mike. Whiskey 4, Papa, Kilo Romeo. Kilo Oscar 4, Uniform, Oscar Romeo. Scott. Kilo 4, Oscar, Whiskey Uniform. Mike. And Kilo Oscar 4, Kilo Alpha Delta Randy. Are there any other stations that wish to check in?
This is Kilo Quebec 4 Romeo Alpha Mike Will. This is Whiskey 4 Romeo Tango Hotel Bob.
Net recognizes Kilo Quebec 4, Romeo Alpha Mike Will, and Whiskey Romeo Tango Hotel, Bob. We'll now proceed to the comments. Again, the question of the evening is, what is an activity that you regularly do to practice emergency communications in your normal ham radio life? When you are called on for comments, please advise on your location, signal report, and your comments. Let's start at the top of the list with KD6 FFM. Ron, go ahead.
KD6 FFM, Ron Romeo Oscar November. I'm in Western New York. I have it loud and clear. Checking in distance, only other thing I do outside of work emergency communications, such as Skywarn or weather reports.
Skywarn is definitely a good thing around here. I wish we could get more of it, but at the same time, I'm glad we do not have the storms to actually do it. So moving on down the list, we have KK4 SHO.
Good evening. Loud and clear signal. As far as the topic, I really don't do anything. Just try to keep my batteries fresh and always on charger, ready to go. The backup batteries, that is. And try to plan in advance if I see a particular accessory that I need to operate the radio or antenna. I get it ahead of time, as much ahead of time as I can plan on, and go from there. Good to hear everybody on the net this evening, and glad we could get M3 MJC on the air with his radio out there in Hanover. So, back net, this is KK4SHO Mobile, Midlothian, Virginia.
All right, this is W4PKR, Net Control. Fresh batteries are always important. I've done quite a few POTA runs where I don't charge my batteries up, and every time it's kind of self-critiquing. You think I've learned, but it never fully sinks in. So down the list, we have N3 MJC Mike. Location and signal report in your comments, please.
Good evening, Sean. This is November 3, Mike Juliet Charlie. The name is Mike, QDH, Earls, Mechanicsville, County of Hanover, Commonwealth of Virginia. DFQ, beautiful signal. Slight bit of white noise, but you're coming through good. So now we have W4BKR and W4PKR. Now all we need is a W4VKR. And I don't know who that could be. Anyway, I used to be net control I'm from New Jersey originally. My old car was Kilo Bravo 2 Romeo Hotel Mike. I was member of the ARES races for Camden County, and I used to be net control, or they call it my parents would call it nut control for the walkathons, the MS walkathons, and also the Thanksgiving Day Parade in Philadelphia for Channel 6, ABC. Now, haven't really had the opportunity. I did a run a couple of years ago down in Chesterfield with Al from Colonial Heights. I can't remember his call for the life of me. Very embarrassing. But what I am going to do, thanks to my man KK4SHO, let me drop it. KK4SHO was very kind enough to come all the way up here and help me load the Hanover repeater in properly, as well as some repeaters in Sarasota and Bradenton. And the reason he did that, the last thing, was because for the next 3 weeks you will not hear me, because I will be down in Palmetto, Florida, getting my third guide dog from the formerly Southeastern Guide Dogs, now Dogs Inc. This will be my third guide dog. The past two were a yellow lab named Otis, and the second one was is a golden retriever named Elton. I didn't name either of them, but the Seeing Eye up in Morristown did. And so I'm going down to Florida, and I think what I might do is I might put the radio on my hip while I'm walking with the dog and the trainer, and if I really get stymied, I might just call on one of the Bradenton repeaters and say, help! I have no idea where I am. I'm lost. Give me a hand here. But other than that, I feel like I know you somewhere, Sean. Are you from Hanover as well? With that, I'll turn it back over. I leave Sunday, by the way, for Palmetto, Florida on American Airlines. God help me, and God rest those poor people that crashed in D.C. today, or last night. Back to net control, W4BKR, this is N3MJC, back to you.
This is W4BKR Net Control. Yes, it was very sad what happened with the accident up in D.C. That's great they're getting the guide dog. I've had 3 golden retrievers. They're the best dogs in the world. I'm not sure what you said the breed of your guide dog was going to be. Glad KK4SHO was able to program the radio for you. Glad to hear you on the 511. You actually do know me. You got me into ARES in Hanover briefly, and I'm now the emergency coordinator for Hanover County. As far as W4VKR, let's not jinx that. We have enough confusion as it is on the repeaters. And speaking of which, next on the list we have W4PKR. Your location, your report and comments, please.
W4PKR, this is Whiskey 4 Papa Kilo Romeo. The name is Jim Juliet India Mike. Good evening, and good evening to everyone on the net tonight. What do I do in my daily ham radio activities that might prepare me for MCOM? And the answer is pretty much nothing. Maybe I should be embarrassed to say that, since I'm one of the net control operators for this group. But other than on a daily basis, when I'm in the car, I'm monitoring the local repeaters and checking into these nets. That's about it. I don't do much else to prepare for MCOM, frankly. Anyway, I'll send it back to you, Sean. Thanks for doing the net, doing a good job as usual. W4 Bravo Kilo Romeo. This is W4 Papa Kilo Romeo. And back to net control.
And this is Net Control, W4 Bravo KR. Checking in the nets and just monitoring the radio, those are great things to do, especially since that's situational awareness in itself. If you don't know something's going on, then you definitely can't help out or have any part in it. So even those are great steps, and it's more than, the average citizen does anyway. So there's that. Moving on, we have KO4UOR, Scott, location, signal report, and comments, please.
Good evening, Sean, and everyone on the net. This is Scott, KO4UOR, in Western Henrico. Read you loud and clear. And, I guess my answer to the question is I participate in nets and I act as net control operator from time to time. So I think just participating in nets and following the directed net procedures is really important and is a great foundation. I also participate in simplex communication because if the repeaters are down, simplex might be the only method of communication. So it's kind of fun and interesting to know your limitations for simplex contact and to practice imperfect sending and receiving of those QSOs. A little bit noisier than repeating. Anyway, good topic. Thanks for running the net. 73, everyone. KO4UOR. Back to net control.
And that's a great point there about practicing simplex, Scott. Simplex is really its own beast, and a lot of people don't practice that very often. I know I'm rather guilty of not practicing that, especially on VHF. I do a lot more HF simplex, obviously, but VHF I don't touch much way simplex. And another good skill that most people don't practice is a relay. It's tough to practice, but it is a good one to have in your utility belt, as it were. So this is W4BKR with the Metro Richmond ARES net. Moving down the list, we have KK4OWU Mike. Location, signal report, and comments, please.
Kilo 4, Oscar Whiskey for Mike. I'm in Glen Allen. Signal from you is very good from everybody. As far as preparations, I'm going to participate in most of the nets and
Yard master today, yard driver.
listen to local news, national news, keep family informed. For example, when we had the decrease to close their outside vents and trickle their water, I have on my calendar, my phone, monthly I charge all my batteries, power banks, etc. And just supplied all my children and grandchildren with battery banks, emergency lights, that type of thing. So I guess you call me a little bit of a friend. Anyway, thank you for doing that. You sound great. 73s, everybody. KK4OWU.
This is W4BKR net control. That's a good thought on the battery packs for everything. Most people, I think anyone who has become even slightly prepper in the last 6 months between the hurricanes down in North Carolina, as well as the water issue we had here that spread across 4 different counties. There's no saving them, but it's good to be prepared. Listening news is it's a good first step, if nothing else, and just letting everybody know. If you know, you can pass the information along. So down the list we have KO4KAD, the mighty Randy. Go ahead with your comments, location, and signal report, please.
W4BKR, KO4KAD. Yeah. You're loud and clear, Sean. I'm in Western Henrico, Durham, 64 area. Let's see. I would say, like some of the stations before me, check into nets, act as a net control, do enjoy FM simplex, try to get on there. I don't as much as I should, but a couple times a week. And then one other thing that I like to do that hasn't been brought up is I tend to get on WinLink almost every morning and just kind of check how far out I can get particularly on the 40-meter band. I've got a couple of stations saved that I can make contact with. So I kind of figure out, if I can get 400 or 500 miles west, however far I want to go, east, north, south, because of course you can use that for emergency communications as well. And then like you, I'm a big motor guy, so a lot of time spent on the HF bands too, checking into HF nets. So that's all I've got. Thanks for picking the net up tonight. You've done a great job. And we'll turn it back to net control. 7-3 from KO4KD.
All right, back to net control. This is W4BKR. And Randy, you bring up a few really good points in front of you. One of them being WinLink. When you look at ARES, WinLink is a huge part of ARES, not just getting information passed locally, but also passed beyond the region of whatever may be going on. And POTA is also really huge because that teaches almost in a brutal way the portable communications and setting up portable station and being mobile with it. Just a little shameless plug, I'm going to be starting another WinLink Wednesday activity net for Hanover County here coming soon. News to come from that later, though. Next up, we have KQ4RAM. Will, go ahead with your location, signal report, and comments, please.
Hey, Sean. This is KQ4RAM, Eastern Hanover County. You're coming in loud and clear. Good to hear you. I would probably fall into line with what everyone else is saying as far as daily activity related to IMCOM. I just kind of keep up my general awareness by listening, scanning the repeaters, and just maybe just staying generally aware of what's going on. So some people don't even check the weather or check the news, and then they'll get surprised. I'm never in that boat. For one thing, I have a brother that's kind of a weather nut, so he keeps us informed as a family. But anyway, yeah, at some point maybe I would get involved in Skywarn or something. But yeah, just general awareness on my part, I think, would be the extent of my daily income. Quarters over. Good to hear you and everyone else on the net. I'll see 73s, and this is KQ4RAM. Clear.
Thanks, Will. This is W4BKR Net Control. And it is eerie how few folks actually stay aware and out here in the real world, if you will. Even like you said, just following the weather. Skywarn is great. Unfortunately, Skywarn tends to be a little lackluster around here because we get the occasional storm, but it's not as great as it is, say, in the Midwest where they can almost just go chase tornadoes. But scanning repeaters, that is a great way to just keep good situational awareness. And last on the list, we have W4RTH Bob. Go ahead with your signal report, location, and comments, Bob.
Yeah, good evening, Sean. Everyone on the net. I'm in Central Hanover, and you're loud and clear coming into Central Hanover. Yeah, like I said, checking in the nets. I do POTA. I'm usually home and scan all the repeaters while I'm here at the house. So if anybody needs anything, answer your daily activity for emergency communications question. Yeah, I'm usually available. If anybody needs anything emergency-wise, I'm always available. It will be glad to relay information that's needed to be relayed. And I have a whole home generator here, so if we have a widespread power outage, I still have communication support. So, yeah, that's about it from here. And you're doing a good job, Sean. Sounded good. So, back over to net control, W4RTH.
Thanks, Bob. This is WKR handling the Metro Richmond area there. We reached the top of the list, and ironically, just about the bottom of the hour. So do we have any bottom of the hour check-ins? I'd like to check in that have not checked in already. Please go ahead with your call sign phonetically and your name.
November 3, Mike, Julia, Charlie with a recheck.
This is Kilo Quebec 4, Mike Echo Foxtrot. Mark.
Kilo Delta 4, Victor Victor, 84 YBB, getting out.
This is Kilo Charlie 4, Kilo Echo Hotel. Handle is Keith. Currently mobile in Southern Hanover.
All right, NET recognizes N3 MJC with a recheck, KQ4MEF Mark, KD4YVV, and KC4KEH. Since we've gone to the bottom of the list, let's go with the new check-ins first, then we'll rotate back around to the top. So, N3MJC, Mike, do you have any additional comments?
I'll go last. Pick up that mobile station there, Sean.
All right, moving on. KQ4MEF Mark. Location, student report, and comments, please.
Yeah, good evening, Sean. Everybody on the net. KQ4MEF out at in Oakland, Allen, 295 near Woodman Road. Repeater signal's coming in really good. Sean, you're nice and crisp. Sound really good also. Income related, still working for another 60 days, but listening in on the repeaters when I'm at the house, when I'm mobile. Usually have the radios on, everything from DMR to UHF, VHF, and GMRS. Listening out there, also enjoy listening to the scanners, what we can still hear. So to me, that's kind of a little bit of a plus, not an ambulance chaser, but just being aware of things that are going on. Generators, backup generators, so I can get on, have the radios ready if anything's needed. So with that, I'll go ahead and turn it back over to you, Sean. Doing a great job. This is KQ4MEF, back to net control.
Thanks, Mark. This is W4BKR net control for the Metro Richmond ARES net. That's a good point about scanners. The ability to listen to them is slowly dying for pretty much everywhere. I too listen to GRMS, U, and VHF in my vehicle. Not so much the house, just because of where I am. Some of the repeaters I can't get, but it's always nice to listen to everything you can. Moving down the list, KD4YVB, location, student report, and comments, please.
County traffic marker 54, showing a left downwind runway 15.
All right, well, never mind then. Now they didn't hear that. Thanks for that. Then KC4KH, Keith.
Good evening, KC4KEH. Currently mobile, now headed north on 295 towards Short Pump. Fortunate enough, I still can live part of my old life part of the communications interoperability group in the National Capital Region. Actually did some stuff last night for the crash in the Potomac. Helped out with some interoperability stuff. Issued out some radios today to the Army Corps of Engineers. But in my ham life, because of that, I found out that a new National Interoperability Field Operating Guide, NIFOG, was issued this year, which reminded me that I should check the AUXFOG, Auxiliary Field Operating Guide, which is specific for ham radios, ham radio operators to help out in times of emergency. Haven't seen a new one, so the last iteration I can find is 2016, but it's great to take a look at that, see what the national coordinating stuff is for us and how we can interject ourselves into those. Otherly, scanners at home, and I'm a big fan of Motorola public safety radios just because I'm somewhat of a radio snob and I've enjoyed getting them for the last 3 years. So I rotate batteries through chargers I have at home and make sure everything's operating. I've got them and VHF, UHF stuff. I listen to GMRS. Not so much FRS anymore, but definitely VHF repeaters. So definitely try to stay in touch, listen, and hear what's going on. So hopefully the AUXFOG, if anybody hasn't checked it out, it's something good to read. And again, if you have insomnia, it may help with that too. So anyway, turn it over back to net control, KC4KEH 73.
Thanks, Keith. W4BKR net control. Good information about the NIFOG and the AUXFOG. I'm not a comm guy myself. I work with a lot of comm guys in my normal federal gig. Some of them probably run the same circles as you. Never been a Motorola guy. I just don't get it. But a lot of people do. They love them, and they're great radios from what I hear. So we worked down to the bottom of the list, so we'll work back to the top list if there's any additional comments. So back to the top of the list, no comments. Feel free to say no comments, and we'll move on. Katie's FM Ron. Any additional comments? Nothing heard. KK4SHO. Any additional comments from you, sir?
I think I got it. This is KD4YVV. Jeff, I'm over here in Prince George County. I wasn't planning on getting on the radio. I did realize I forgot to get my name and location, so I want to apologize. Not only that, but yeah, I'm getting fine signal. I'm not sure about me, but anyway, we're inside the house right now, and sometimes I have an issue with this computer. That's because of the radio I'm on. But we do monitor constantly, almost every day, different times of the day, and we're fully set up in case we have an emergency. And yes, anybody going Skywarn, actually, I need to go back and check out another class of this myself. It's always a good thing to be involved, at least a little bit. 84YVV, back to the next show.
Thanks, Jeff. This is W4BKR, net control from Richmond, Metro Richmond Areas Net. Thanks for the comments. Glad we were able to get you in there. You were a little faint here, but we got you through just fine. Monitoring constantly is great. I understand. I have issues hearing at the house too. I can hear this repeater just fine, but like the 511 repeater in Hanover, for some reason there's a hole around Ashland and I can't get it. So I understand not necessarily being able to hit every repeater. So moving on with additional comments, are there any stations with any additional comments? Please call now with your call sign.
N3MJC recheck.
N3MJC, go with your comments.
Net control is N3MJC. First of all, congrats on being named the Hanover ARES commander there, as it were. You're talking to N3MJC on the Emeritus, as it were. It would be nice to be kept in the loop, for Hanover. Since I was the coordinator at one time. But also, 3 golden retrievers. Well, my Elton would love to meet your 3 golden retrievers, I'm sure. As to what I'm getting, it should be a lab of some color. A yellow, B black, C chocolate. I'd love a yellow lab. That was my first. I find that the yellows are far more docile. And my first yellow lab, Otis, always wanted to work and was very smart. If he saw me coming, walking through the house, and we weren't working, and he was just laying in the middle of the floor, he would get up. Elton does not. A couple times I've nearly gone head over tin cups falling over him because he's right in the middle of the floor and he just doesn't move. So hopefully this third boy will be smart enough to do that. Looking forward to it. As I said, would like to be part of the Hanover ARES group and as well as the club. I can thankfully get on 511 thanks to KK4 SHO who got me properly set with the PL tone. So other than that, now you know the skinny. All right, Sean, and for W4BKR, this is N3MJC. Back to that.
Thanks for the comments, Mike. I'll send you an email on the side about the ARES net stuff, or about the Hanover ARES stuff, rather. Are there any additional comments from anyone previously checked in before we move on? Any other comments? Check in now with your call sign, please. Nothing heard. Before we continue, I'd like to remind everyone of other ARES emergency communications nets that are held during the week in the region. On Mondays at 1900, the Powhatan ARES net is held on 147.315 repeater, which which has a positive offset in PL tone of 74.4. Also on Mondays, the Goochland County Emergency Communications Net is held on the 147.270 repeater with a positive offset PL tone of 203.5. On Tuesday nights, the Kenwood County ARES Net is at 1900 on the 147.390 repeater with a positive offset PL tone of 74.4. Also on Tuesday, the Chesterfield ARES Net is at 2100. It is called by David KX4LQN on the 147.360 repeater with a positive offset and no PL tone. You can always check in with the Chesterfield County ARES Windlink Net. For more information, visit their website, www.chesterfieldares.us. On Wednesdays at 2000 hours, the Tri-Cities Emergency Communications Net is held on the 147.390 repeater with a positive offset and PL tone of 74.4.
Smoke inside a structure. 3330.
Now I'll take any final check-ins for the Metro Richmond ARES Net. This is W4BKR Net Control. Any remaining stations need to check in, please identify now.
On Channel 4. Time out. 1936.
So I'll wait for you. The net is closed.
For Mike, Charlie, Delta, in and out, Micah in Mechanicsville. Reading you loud and clear.
Alright, Net Control recognized. K4MCD Micah in and out. Thanks for checking in, Micah. We appreciate it. Any additional check-ins? Last call.
November 4, Hotel Delta Foxtrot.
It recognizes November 4, Hotel Delta Foxtrot. Good evening, Doug. You have to give us your location, comments, and signal report, please.
Good evening, everybody on the net. Sean, you're doing a great job on this, running the net. Really good. This is Doug in Verona. Receiving the repeater very well. Sean, you're into the repeater very well as well. IMCOM stuff. Really have done a lot of IMCOM stuff. Since I retired from it, riding around in the front of a fire truck, I do monitor the local repeaters as well as the GMRS repeaters. And occasionally I'll listen out on simplex channels on GMRS, especially as we go off-road. Do have a generator here and backup power, either in the house or in the shed, my shack. So, other than that, that's about all I've got going on. Sean, good job as always. 73 to everybody on the net. November 4, Hotel Delta Foxtrot.
Thanks for the comment, Doug. This is W4BKR Net Control. Running a fire truck definitely counts for managing emergency communication as well. I definitely agree with you. Simplex on off-roading, we've talked about that before. I keep it pretty much up on both sides of our radio if I can, between some of the popular Simplex channels out there and just the national call channel, 146.520, which is a great station to listen to sometimes. Are there any additional check-ins this evening? This is the absolute last call before I terminate the net. Nothing heard. We had a total of 14 check-ins for tonight's net. At this time, I will proceed to terminate the net. I would like to thank those stations that participated and the stations that stood by for the net. I'd also like to thank the Metro Repeater Association for the use of this repeater. The Metro Richmond ARES Net is now closed and this repeater returned to regular amateur radio operation. This is W4BKR. The net is clear at 1941 hours.
W4BKR and 3MJC.
And 3MJC, W4BKR. Hey, Mike, I actually have your email address somewhere in my Gmail somewhere.
Well, just to be sure, can I give it to you again?
Absolutely.
Mike, Juliet, Charlie, Oscar Romeo Mike Alpha November at Victor Echo Romeo India Zulu Oscar November dot November Echo Tango. Copy?
QSL MJ Corbin at Verizon.net. Yep, got it right here, Mike. It's written down, and I pulled up my Gmail too, so it's in there as well.
All right, Groovy. To be informed, I would still like to be part of amateur Hanover ARES. I do remember you took me home one time in your big truck, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry I wasn't available for the big, drill back in July. After some misunderstandings, I just decided to bail out.
Now, I understand I wasn't there for that either. I wound up having to go overseas during that time. So, well, I say I was overseas. I actually went on vacation to Ireland, so I'm not sure that actually counts. But, yeah, I wasn't in town for the Bopex myself. But, yeah, I will send you an email on the side, and we'll hook up.
Ireland, love it. We went there in '84. Started out in Dublin, went to Westport, went down to Limerick and Adair, visited Dingle Bay, Kerry, and went back to Limerick and Adair to actually the Laurel's Pub in, I think that was, it might have been Kerry, good God. Somebody recognized me on the street the next day after I performed. I sang at the Laurel's Pub. Some gal recognized me from the night before and said hello to me and my family. So, love it, Ireland. That's great. I guess your family's from there. All right, listen, I won't hold it up any more than I already have. Thank you very much for your time. And I'm going QSY back to 511. That's going to be my other home repeater besides this one now. 74 BKR, this is N3MGC. 73, all been clear.
Yeah, it was fun. I look forward to it. 73 Mike, I'll talk to you in an email later.
W4 BKR and 3MJC, all been clear QSY to 511. nothing heard at 3SAC, all thanks to your work.
Good.